Feel like your summer makeup isn't makeuping, like it's not serving VS Angel bombshell bronzed goddess vibes. Keep watching, I'm showing you exactly how to achieve this look. Super lightweight, but looks like full glam, and I promise you it's really simple. For the smoothest base, I like to go in with an exfoliating pad. These are the bare-faced ones. To hydrate my skin, I'm going in with Rhodes Glazing Milk. Finishing off the skin prep, this Prequel moisturizer. Going in with my Dior Forever Glow foundation. This formula is just perfect to me. It obviously gives a good amount of coverage, but it feels like nothing on the skin and gives your skin that like juicy plump glow. I'm of course priming my brush and then applying the product to my face. For concealer, I'm gonna go in first with my Hourglass concealer in the shade Willow. This is not my most brightening shade. I feel like for summer we don't want something super bright. We obviously want to look like awake and have bright under eyes, but we don't want it to be like concealer and then bronzer, you know what I mean? That shade of concealer is kind of closer to my skin tone. Then I'm gonna go in with my Pat McGrath concealer. This is in the shade Light 2. It's pretty light. I'm gonna focus it on the outsides of my eyes and then the center of my forehead. Contour to sculpt. Key to this looking like full glam, but feeling like there's nothing on your skin really is working in thin layers and placing your product naturally. Follow your own bone structure. Your makeup will look 10 times better. Okay, time to add some bronzer. I'm taking the shade Cappuccino from Tennille J, working the product from my forehead down the temples and then on the tops of my cheekbones, but only until about here. Pretty much like where the sun would naturally kiss my face. That's where I'm placing bronzer. I'm all for like a very natural looking glam, but sometimes I want to pop out looking like I'm wearing full glam, but having it feel like I'm wearing no makeup at all. This routine is like exactly that, and I've truly perfected it. With a little eyeshadow brush, I like to just carve my eyes out. I'm gonna do this again with eyeshadow, but this is kind of just starting the process and the shape of my eyes. Adding like a warm tone shade to your lid just makes you look healthier. And then I also like to go on the lower lash line, over the cupid's bow to give it that really pouty look, and then the sides of the bridge of the nose, connecting it into my crease. We're going to be doing this again with eyeshadow, but again, I'm just starting the process. Doing my backwards setting technique, obviously. Going in first with my Pat McGrath powder, and then a dusting of loose powder. Today, I'm using the Huda Beauty one. I feel like I've said this like 80 times, but don't use a lot of product. That is the key to my setting technique. I mean, look at my skin. It looks filtered. It feels like there's nothing on my skin. The goal for the eyes is to create a really beautiful, defined, and elongated look. First, I'm taking a taupey brown shade in my crease, softening that up and out towards the tail of the brow, connecting it to the side of the bridge of the nose where we added cream bronzer before. This spot alone is like so elite. It brings such symmetry to the face. Dragging up and out towards the tail of the brow really like lifts and elongates the eye. Then I'm working in a little bit more of like a camel-y shade. You could also just use your bronzer. Start as close to the lash line as possible and then just diffuse it upwards towards the crease. Just because I feel like being a little extra, I'm going in with my Dior bronzer. Lower lash line, of course. Okay, next take a brown crayon and define your upper inner corner. Tightline your lower lash line and then add a tiny little wing to the top lash line. Essentially want to highlight and contour both our face and our eyes. Then with a brighter white or cream shade, take that to your inner corner. Drag it right next to where you put the contour on the bridge of the nose. Did and contoured the face. We're doing the exact same thing to our eyes. I like to go in the inner corner, obviously, and then hit the brow bone. Bring that up a little bit onto the actual lid space and then down below the eye a little bit. Have like reverse contours your nose, and it also gives this really beautiful like angelic look. Adding a few beauty marks back into my face just to give the skin that really fresh look. And if you're feeling silly, you can add some freckles. Finally, adding a little bit of highlight to the inner corner. I'm using this gorgeous one from Dior. Middle to the nose and the bridge of the nose just while we're at it. Also my signature highlighting placement right here, this little crevice. We're gonna do a tinted brow gel to focus most of the pigment on the outside of the brow. Okay, time to add some blush. I'm first going in with the shade Toffee from Dior and then topping that with the shade Candy right on the apples of my cheeks. Formula is so good. Just watch first of all how it blends, but it gives the perfect amount of glow. Like it's not too, I don't want to say like greasy, but you know how sometimes like a balm blush can just look like sticky and greasy and gross? These don't do that. These just look like plump and hydrated and gorgeous. Okay, time for the lip combo. Step is always setting my lips with a little bit of pressed powder. We already contoured the lips, so I'm gonna go right in with a brown liner. Setting your lips with powder first will allow any sort of liner to just grip better and stay longer, which is why I like to set my lips first, especially with the summer heat and like drinks, spritzes, margaritas, all the fun stuff. Your lip combo is gonna come off. This will literally allow it to last through anything. I'm just gonna take the blush shade I used and just tap it in. Finishing the lips off with some lip gloss or balm. This one from Dior. Again, it's new, so I'm obsessed. But I'm not only obsessed because it's new. Look how that just made my lips look. Oh my god, up close, the skin looks insane. Finish off with some black or brown mascara. Hold on, I almost forgot setting spray. I'm gonna go in with the Rhode Mist. And then next, just a very light spritz of the Pat McGrath one. Okay, and voila. Sexy summer bombshell makeup that doesn't look or feel cakey. In fact, it feels like nothing on the skin.